We all have stuff we love to do. I love, more than anything, to do the L-Pod, and that's exactly what we're going to do today. Hi, I'm Mike. Right there is Roger Tumanieri. He is the publisher of the Etobicoke Lakeshore Press and executive producer, yeah, that's it, of the Etobicoke Lakeshore podcast. Do you like that title?
That's a fancy title. That's like the fanciest title I've ever had in my life.
Executive producer, yes. Host and star of.
Yes.
All right. Well, hey, buddy, how are you? Nice to talk to you.
Good, Mike. I'm great. How are you doing today?
Good, thanks. I'll remind anybody listening, you're probably from the neighborhood, so are we. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast. And you can do that anywhere you're listening. Just hit the subscribe button. If you're listening to this on YouTube, by the way, a video element of this due in 2021. So you're going to want to subscribe on YouTube if you're there and hit the notification bell in the top right corner, and that'll let you know every time we publish something new. And that's good because we usually have something cool to tell you or somebody interesting to introduce you to or something upcoming you need to know about. And that's what this show is all about. What's in this month's edition, buddy?
Oh, this month's edition for January is it's all about thinking big to help small businesses. In my publisher's note, I coined a new phrase. To be honest, maybe it exists already, but it's the idea of going small or going home. Like if we don't go small by supporting small local businesses, they go home. Yeah. And it's really unfortunate. And this pandemic has put so much pressure on local small businesses. Some have had to go home. They've had to pack it in and shut down, and others are finding ways to survive. And it's not fair. Not everybody's created equally, but if we could continue to change our mindset about how we spend our money and diverting, some of our consumption habits towards more small local businesses, then at least, we can give them a fighting chance. And, one person that's top of mind who is thinking big by supporting small businesses is our guest today. She's also featured on the cover of the January edition. Her name is Marta Pozniakowski, and she just opened a cafe alongside a real estate office in Alderwood, just on Brown's Line, south of Horner. And that's really something that I think takes a lot of courage and insight to do, period, but much more so in the midst of a pandemic. So that said, I'd like to welcome Marta to the L-Pod.
Hi, Marta. How are you?
Hi, how are you guys?
Good. So you've got a new cafe?
I got a new cafe, yeah.
What's the cafe called?
It's called Espresso Bar Namaste.
I've seen the signs. There's a sign right on Horner.
That's right.
And we saw it yesterday, and I said to my son, okay, we've got a new cafe in town. And so that's really cool. First of all, why Namaste? Are you like a yoga fanatic?
I am indeed. But what I did, actually, I work with my numerologist on a couple of names that I like. And we basically narrowed down that this name is the best to resonate with what I want to accomplish here. So it's Namaste.
I do love the name. And the sign, by the way. So tell us about the inspiration. Why a cafe? Why in these times?
Well, it actually didn't start from the cafe. I'm a real estate broker. So my goal was to open a real estate brokerage. And there was an opportunity last year when this old laundromat came up for sale. And at that point of time, it was the cheapest commercial real estate in town. So I just went for it.
Right.
It required lots of work, and we had to gut out the whole space. You can imagine it was a disaster. Yeah. I just figured that I always wanted to have create something like a community hub. So my background is in non-for-profit. I've been running the Polish Film Festival for over a decade. Oh. And I love the idea of people gathering and doing something together. So I thought coffee shop will be something like a heart of the Alderwood village, right?
Oh, that's cool.
And I needed something to kind of leverage with my business. So I thought, having a coffee shop / real estate office will be something that I would like to do.
I know realtors, they love their coffee. This might be cheaper for you in the end, just having your own coffee shop.
Well, that's another thing. A couple of years ago when I was doing my taxes, I had the whole shoebox of receipts from San Remo. And I'm like, holy cow, that's a lot of money here. So
San Remo, I'm sorry. One less customer there. There's always reason to go to San Remo. You and I both know it. But having said that, this is really interesting. So let's talk a little bit about the neighborhood, because I'm moving into the neighborhood and very excited about it. But I've just been through the real estate situation here. So let's talk a little bit about that. Now, you've got this brokerage focused mainly on the Alderwood, South Etobicoke area?
That's correct. So my goal is to basically take over the whole Alderwood area as a real estate office. At this moment, I'm recruiting a new team members. We have a capacity up to 25 agents, and we want to be the primary agents for the whole neighborhood.
Wonderful.
As you know, the neighborhood is in a transition now. There's a lot of things coming up, lots of changes. There is Royal Park is just finishing up their condo. It's probably like the first landmark on the street, but it's not the last one. There will be more coming up.
And you see that in the plans on the strip between there and Lakeshore?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. In fact, the whole area, Roger, and you've watched this having been here for so long, the gentrification people often refer to isn't happening that way here. It's actually a very organic, community-driven expansion or change, upgrade to the community. It seems like there's a lot of effort put into keeping it feel like a small community. So
that's the beauty of this community. I love this pocket because it's tucked away from the main Etobicoke other neighborhoods. And everyone who's passing by Bronze Line or Gardiner, they don't notice Alderwood.
Yeah.
It's kind of like hidden little gem.
It is, yeah.
I speak to local residents, and they've been living here in this neighborhood for 50, 60 years.
Yeah.
Like, this is this kind of a neighborhood.
It is.
You have a small schools, everyone knows each other, the kids growing up together. And is between Mississauga and downtown Toronto, this is like the sweet spot of having this nice community and feel like a village kind of living when you are like a couple minutes away from the core.
I'm moving from what is actually a little quaint village down to this village, and this feels more like a village, more like a community than that ever will, I think, because of development around the Vaughan area where I'm from. It just isn't planned out. You can't plan this kind of community. It just takes 70, 75 years to become what it is.
Yeah, it's an organic way that the way it creates, those communities are created. You're right.
Okay, so now you talked about the age and the demographic sort of the neighborhood. There are a lot of what I call OGs, originals here, people that have been here for 40 years or more. And it's often, I think, where those properties sell that the new properties begin to flourish. Whether somebody does a knockdown or a renovation on one of these properties. Is the market still really hot for that kind of sale and purchase right now?
I knew you would ask me this question. Yes, it is hot.
She knew that because she is realtor extraordinaire, Roger. Sorry.
Yes.
Well, I will just give you a simple examples, and people that are following the market in the neighborhood, that if there is a listing that comes up on the market and the property is listed for, I don't know, $800,000, it will go over 1.2.
Yeah.
Couple
and it'll go
later.
in hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah, I know. I've had that experience, I hate to say. Roger knows I was watching a property for all of 45 minutes before it was snapped up. And you would look at the property and think, oh, that's fetching that price that quickly. Yeah, because the properties are the last in the city that will have that kind of size. Yeah.
Alderwood has larger lots.
Yeah.
Doesn't it? Yeah, they have larger sort of 50-foot lots. It's mature trees. It's a beautiful neighborhood.
It is indeed. In fact, I've got a couple of friends that live in that neighborhood that are doing the renovation right now. Our friend Mike from iTex is in the process right now in Alderwood. And it is such a nice area. It's got that ravine that takes you all the way down to the lakeshore. You're within seconds of shopping when that's available. Like, it's just you're in the sweet spot in Toronto, in my mind, Marta.
I agree with you. I agree. And what is exciting about the neighborhood that we see from the commercial point of view, we see businesses coming to the strip, like Farm Boy, for example,
Yeah.
which is a great grocery store
so
to have.
good.
Kettleman's Bagel Store, right? Which is fantastic. Most of my clients for the coffee shop that come along for their morning brew, they are really happy that we are in the neighborhood. They said, "Oh, this is so nice that we have something like walking distance, not just gas station."
Yeah.
Right.
I love coffee.
Me too.
Like, I like my kids a lot, but I love coffee. You know what I mean? What's your deal with coffee then? This must have been a passion of yours. Tell us about the coffee that you bring in and how it's prepared and what the difference is with your cafe.
Sure. I love coffee as well. I wasn't sure that I will ever dip into the coffee industry like I did over the last 2 years. I did the research before I opened. I did the research with local coffee roasteries around the city, and I narrowed down one that I really like. It's called Rufino. It's called Classic Gourmet Cafe. Their main product is a Rufino coffee, named after the owner, John Rufino. His roastery is in Vaughan, and it's one of the most sophisticated roasteries I ever seen. Probably in the world. He built it himself. It's all stainless steel. It's beautiful, and it's all operated by one person through like this computer station. It's impeccable.
Wow.
It's just perfect. Actually, I heard that some other businesses that are in a coffee industry, they were offering him to shoot a commercial at his roastery.
We want to look more like you, actually, John. Yeah.
They have a great support system. Very good quality coffee and trainings for my baristas. And that's what we're offering our clients.
Very cool. And what about through COVID? How are you able to operate? I mean, this must be a little bit devastating for that side of things. Any plans how you're going to pivot?
Well, you know what? I don't know the difference yet because I opened 3 months ago. So it's hard to say.
Yeah.
It is a struggle. I mean, I have to cover most of the shifts. So I have some baristas working, but most of the time I am behind the bar serving the coffee because
that's cool.
Yeah.
But that's nice.
If I could jump in for a second.
Sorry. Yeah.
That's okay. I was down there last month, I think just before Christmas, dropping off some magazines at the cafe. And there was a steady stream of customers. There were guys working on the property next door, like the Beeline condos. There were engineers. You had just regular folks coming in. You had an Uber Eats or some type of delivery driver coming in.
True. There are days and waves. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I caught one of these waves, I'll tell you, because I was like, holy smokes, you're doing all right. You chose a really great location for starters. I think that plaza is fantastic. It's right. You're basically next to Il Paesano Pizza, which everybody knows. That seems to be a staple.
Our great neighbors. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Right. And then you've got the new condo building on the corner. So plus there's a whole pocket of folks in Alderwood, right, just to the west of you that don't need to cross any street coming.
That's right.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So they can just, like you said, Marta, you're in walking distance, and
it is a strategic, location. There is we have a school behind, community center, library. I'm just hoping the whole COVID will be over soon, so we can basically thrive.
Well, it'd be nice to see you flourish there because, I as much as somebody like Starbucks or one of the bigger name chains, when you get down to a local roastery and somebody cares about the coffee in their own shop, nothing tastes like that. Like, I don't care where you go in the world. Somebody who cares about the coffee that they're putting in your cup makes a big difference. And it sounds to me like you're also a kind of a staple in the community now. You're putting people in homes. And starting to take that market with a serious number of realtors at your brokerage. And the housing market overall, any predictions, any ideas in your mind about what we see as a reflection of COVID or a result of it?
You know what? If I will know how to predict, I will be probably a millionaire.
Yeah.
It's hard to predict what will happen. What I know is that, we still will be dealing with COVID implementations of the government for probably another 9 months. Mm-hmm. I don't think the market is going anywhere down. That's for sure. We still will see a strong market. People still need places to live. There is there is a tendency of lots of GTA residents moving outside or purchasing like second homes, properties, cottages, land. That's what I see a lot. What I'm also focusing at this time when at the beginning, since I moved to the neighborhood, started working with the city to create a local business improvement area association. Currently, we are at the point where we are meeting with the steering committee of people that are owners of some buildings around Browns Line and business owners. And we're hoping that once we create the actual BIA, we may have some input with the city and we can lobby for some sort of, more attention of the city towards Alderwood.
Yeah. That's, what's interesting is as we talk about Alderwood, it's fascinating to me because the marketplace as a place to buy a home is almost the hybrid of leaving the core and heading to Muskoka. Somewhere in between there is Alderwood, where you can actually have some space, make your way to the lake, have that experience. So I can imagine it being the sort of the last bastion of appeal on the way out of town, as it were, because you could be here and still be in your own space.
Yeah, you can feel like you live still at sort of like a cottage country, right? A couple months ago, like away from here, you're going to this ravine when you're basically surrounded by a river, streams, little falls, right? Trees. It feels amazing. Yeah.
It is cool. So check out Alderwood on the map. Use the satellite version so you can see all the trees. Roger, I don't have to get you to endorse this as a neighborhood because you love the whole Long Branch, South Etobicoke, Lakeshore area as I do. But Alderwood is a special pocket. And I would imagine that it's going to become one of the most appealing places in Canada to purchase a home and or build a home.
It's pretty idyllic. I've gone fishing there in the Etobicoke Creek with my son. We saw a deer just walking by. There's tons of wildlife. It's like you're not even in the city. In fact, when you're down in that valley, you can't see the city. You can't hear the city.
And then you can pop up at the lake and look straight across at the city. It's insane. It's like it is the coolest place to view the city in Toronto as you make your way down to the lake from Alderwood. Where can people find out more about Namaste? How do I say it properly? I don't think I ever say it right. Namaste? Namaste. Say it, Roger.
Namaste.
Wow, you say it with warm conviction. I like that. I feel calmer already. Namaste, the cafe. And also, what's the name of your... I didn't even ask the name of your realty company.
Yeah, we are Remax Equinox.
Remax Equinox, and you'll find them on Browns Line, which is a sort of a staple, iconic route into the lake area from the highway. So you will not miss it. Beside El Paisano, and I would imagine it's a great. If you want to talk real estate and have a coffee, this is the perfect place.
It is in this.
And where can people reach you?
Well, we have a website, remax-equinox.com. Remax-equinox.com. As well, we are pretty active on Instagram with our Espresso bar under Espresso Bar Namaste.
Taking shots of the crema on the top of the espresso.
That's right.
I have 10,000 espressos a day. Did you know that, Roger?
No. I can believe it.
I do. Yeah. I'm just a coffee.
I'd be right there with you. Guys, I just want to expand on a point that Marta made about the BIA and the local business community. I mean, you've really gone out of your way to support other local businesses and entrepreneurs through your cafe. I know that over the holidays, you're selling a lot of other people's products through the shop, and not for nothing, one of those products was the Etobicoke apparel company hoodies. And so right. you really have your thumb on that kind of community vibe. And I think that kind of sets you apart from a lot of other local businesses and cafes in the neighborhood.
Yeah, hold on. Let's talk about this. The Etobicoke what?
Hoodies.
Etobicoke Apparel Co.
The Etobicoke Apparel Co. And so what have you got there? Hoodies, you said?
We got a very cool hoodies.
All right. So people can just purchase those there?
Yes.
Supporting local business.
That's right.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay. So there you go. Get your Etobicoke Apparel Co. What do they look like?
They're gray and fuzzy and warm and comfortable.
Okay, sold. I'll take one of those right now. By the way, that's what everybody wears to work now in front of their Zoom camera is something fuzzy. If you see, look at Roger right now. He's got something very fuzzy. Oh, no, that's his beard. Never mind. But he does have one of the Apparel Co. hats on. So find out more at Cafe. Is it called Cafe Namaste?
Espresso bar, Namaste.
Espresso bar. Oh, I like it. Espresso bar, right in the first few words. Espresso bar, Namaste, Remax Equinox, all in the same location. And Marta, thanks so much for joining us.
Well, thank you so much for the invitation.
I want to get one of those hoodies, Raj.
Yeah, well, you know where to get it.
Yeah, that's right. We just
Espresso
advertised it
bar
right here.
Namaste. I hear they're sold exclusively through there. So.
Okay, so I'm going to recommend people go there. I'm going to go get one myself, and I'll do the promo for you. And I guarantee you, my son and I will be regulars at that cafe. So delighted to meet you.
Namaste. Thank you so much.
Namaste. That's awesome. Roger, listen, man, this is, we're getting back into the community right in the new year. Here we are, a new business, a fresh outlook on what's happening in Alderwood and the surrounding area. It feels really good to kick things off with an espresso in the new year.
Oh, I agree. It's very uplifting.
Okay, let's get people to have a look at the magazine. Where can they find that? This week, Marta's featured.
Yeah, well, we'll have that posted at ETOBICOKE.com. We'll also have this podcast up on the site as well as you mentioned, everywhere else you can listen to podcasts. And check us out on Instagram as well at Etobicoke Lakeshore Press.
Today's show was brought to you by Hello Country Podcast. Get it anywhere you listen to podcasts. Thanks, Raj. We'll talk to you next time.
Thanks, Mike.